There he is, trying to move him out. All right, so we're gonna get started in a comfortable seat. So you can just go ahead and make your way there, either sitting on your heels or grounding into the mat on your sit bones. Yeah. Then wherever you are, you can place your hands on your thighs or your knees. Nice long spine, crown of your head towards the ceiling. Maybe imagining there's a string connecting the crown of your head to the ceiling, pulling you up, causing your spine to elongate. And then begin to either close your eyes or soften your gaze to a spot on the floor in front of you. Then bring awareness to any spots or parts of your body where you tend to hold tension. Kind of starting at the top and moving down, letting your creases of your eyes relax, letting your forehead relax, softening your jaw, letting your shoulders relax, wiggling your fingers and toes a couple of times, letting them relax. Pull your belly button towards your spine, turning your tailbone towards the mat, but keeping that gentle bend, the natural bend in your low back. And then really ground your sit bones into the mat. If you're seated on the mat, letting your knees fall down towards the mat. And then begin to focus on your breathing. Filling your belly first with your inhale and expanding your lungs, taking it all the way to your upper back. Before you exhale, release, breathing out of your nose, emptying your belly last, pausing. Inhale, fill your belly, expand your ribs, and pause at the top of your inhale. Before you exhale, release, emptying your belly last. And then start one more round together. Inhale, fill your belly, expand your ribs, pause at the top of your inhale, and then exhale, release, emptying your belly last. Then take a couple more rounds at your own pace. While you're doing so, set your intention for class today, whether it's something you're working on in your own practice, or you can just keep your awareness on your yoga practice, focusing on your breath, and that can be your one intention for class, which of course is a very important one. And then we'll take one round of breath together to set this intention for class. Begin by exhaling all of the air, emptying your belly last. Inhale, fill your belly, expand your ribs, open mouth, release. And on your next inhale, you can gently begin to float your eyes open. Place your hands on the mat in front of you, and then make your way into your tabletop pose. Spreading your fingers wide, bringing your hands shoulder-width distance apart, knees hip-width distance apart, wrist in line with shoulders, knees in line with hips. Then really pull your belly button toward your spine, push into your hands to lift your chest towards the ceiling. Take your gaze towards the top of your mat. Then inhale, drop your belly towards the mat, gaze forward for cow pose. Exhale, pull your belly towards your spine, rounding your back for cat. Inhale, drop your belly, gaze forward, cow. Exhale, pull your belly towards your spine. Tuck your chin for cat. And move through a few more rounds at the pace of your own breath. Taking nice long inhales and equally long exhales. And then maybe you want to incorporate other movements here. Perhaps circling your hips as you exhale, coming back towards your heels. And then inhale as you come forward into your cow pose. Exhale, drop your hips back, rounding your spine for cat. Inhale, come forward for cow. And then you could switch directions if you're circling those hips. Moving a couple of times in the opposite direction. And on your next inhale, we'll meet back into our tabletop pose. And then come back into a child's pose, bringing your knees mat width distance apart, big toes to touch, and then dropping your hips towards your heels. And dropping your sit bones towards your heels, walking your hands forward, and then letting your forehead relax on the mat if it can touch. Otherwise, letting it dangle, letting your chest fall towards the mat. And then if you want to make this a more active pose, you can come up onto your fingertips, which is a deeper stretch for your shoulders. And at any time in your practice, you're always welcome to come into this child's pose. On your next inhale, begin to make your way out, coming into your table. And then once you make it to your table, walk your hands forward a couple of inches, keeping those fingers spread wide. Tuck your toes on the mat. Inhale, lift your knees just an inch or two off the mat. Pull your belly button toward your spine. Lift your chest up. Take your gaze forward. And then take a couple of rounds of breath here, focusing on that belly breathing as you do a little bit of core work and warm yourself up for this practice. Take one more inhale here. Then exhale, keep your knees bent as you push your chest toward your thighs, coming into your downward facing dog. Lifting the hips up, keeping those knees bent deeply, bringing your chest toward your thighs, pull your belly button toward your spine, keeping your ears between your biceps, kind of turning your biceps so they're facing forward, and then you'll feel your kind of shoulder blades open. Then on your next inhale, slowly walk your feet towards the top of the mat, coming into a forward fold. In your forward fold, have your feet about hip width distance apart. And have a slight or deep bend in your knees, letting your chest fall onto your thighs, letting your head hang heavy. Maybe coming into a ragdoll, grabbing opposite elbows with your hands. You can nod your head yes, shake it no. Really letting your upper back release, giving your neck a little bit of a break, time to stretch out. Then on your next exhale, if you have the grip of your elbows, go ahead and release. Inhale, bring your palms to your shins or thighs, creating a flat back, taking your gaze forward, and then exhale, fold. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, palms to shins or thighs, flat back. Exhale, fold. 1 more time. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your arms towards the ceiling, coming into a mountain pose. And then from here, grab your left wrist with your right hand. Inhale, reach your arms towards the ceiling. And then exhale, pull your hands over to the right, feeling a nice stretch down your left side. Pull your belly button towards your spine, turning your chest towards the top of your mat. Both armpits parallel to the top of your mat. Keeping both feet grounded. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, switch the grip of your hands and then bend over towards the left. Feeling a nice stretch down your right side. Pull your belly button towards your spine, turning that chest open. Maybe pulling your hands back a little bit to really open that chest. And keeping both feet grounded on the mat. Inhale, come back to center. Release the grip of your hands. Exhale, clasp your hands at the base of your spine. Inhale, lift your chest up. And then exhale, begin to fold forward with a flat back until you can't go any further. Then you can round that spine. Maybe bend your knees just slightly, or you can bring a deep bend in, pulling your hands either towards the back of your mat or towards the ceiling. Let your head hang heavy, nodding yes, shaking no. And on your next inhale, slowly come up with that flat back. Release the grip of your hands. Then from here, step your right foot over your left. So your right foot is on the outside of your left foot, crossing your legs. Inhale, sweep your arms towards the ceiling, shoulders relaxed. Then exhale with that flat back, slowly begin to fold forward, again until you can't go any further. And then round your back, having maybe a slight or deep bend in that left knee. And by default, then the right knee bends. Whatever feels comfortable, feeling that nice stretch down the back of your leg, but really feeling it in that left hip. Let your head hang heavy. And inhale, come back up, sweeping your arms towards the ceiling. And then switching your feet, stepping your left foot over your right this time. And then exhale, begin to fold forward, that long spine. So you can't go any further than rounding your back, letting your head hang heavy, taking whatever depth of the bend in that right knee that you need. Feeling a stretch in that right hip. Let your head hang heavy. And inhale, slowly come up with that long spine, reaching your arms towards the ceiling. And then bringing your feet back to hip width distance apart. On your next exhale, fold forward once again, that long spine. Bringing your hands down onto the mat. This time placing your right hand towards the center of the mat, but above your toes. Bend your right knee, and then inhale your left arm towards the ceiling. Coming into a twist here. And if you need to, you can bring a slight bend into that left knee. Maybe taking your gaze up towards the ceiling or towards your fingertips. So like opening your chest. You can kind of use those fingers as leverage to help you open. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, bring that left hand down onto the mat. Fingertips towards the center of the mat. Bend into the left knee. And then inhale your right arm towards the ceiling. Again, you can bring a slight bend into that right knee if you need to. And then either taking your gaze forward or taking your gaze up towards your fingertips. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, bring your hand down onto the mat, coming into your forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Step your left foot back, coming into a low lunge. Walk that right foot forward until your ankle and knee are in one line, and then drop that left knee down onto the mat. Coming into a modified low lunge, lifting your chest up, taking your gaze forward. You're going to take an inhale here, and then exhale, begin to straighten that right leg, toes towards the ceiling, folding over the right leg. And then inhale, bend into the right knee, lifting your chest, taking your gaze forward. Exhale, straighten that right leg, toes towards the ceiling, folding over. Inhale, bend into the right knee, into your lunge, lifting your chest. Exhale, straightening that leg, toes towards the ceiling. And then inhale, coming into your low lunge, chest lifted, gaze forward. And then exhale, tuck those back toes and step the back foot forward to meet the front into your forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your arms towards the ceiling, mountain pose. Exhale, dive forward into your fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. This time, step your right foot back, coming into that low lunge. Walking the left foot forward till your ankle and knee are in one line. And then drop that right knee down onto the mat. Modified low lunge. Lifting your chest, taking your gaze forward. Take an inhale here. Then exhale, straighten the left leg, toes towards the ceiling, folding over that leg. Inhale, bend into the knee, lunge forward, lifting your chest. Exhale, straighten the left leg, toes towards the ceiling. Inhale, bend into your lunge, lifting your chest. One more. Exhale, straighten the left leg, toes towards the ceiling. Then inhale, bend into that left knee, lifting your chest. And then exhale, tuck those back toes. Step the front foot forward this time. Step the front foot back this time, coming into your high plank. I'll give you a second to get there, get situated. We'll stay in a high plank for a round of breath, spreading your fingers wide, wrists in line with your shoulders, shoulders in line with hips, really pushing those heels back towards the back of your mat, taking your gaze forward, breathing into your belly, and then dropping those knees down onto the mat, untucking your toes. Inhale, kind of rock forward. Exhale, hug your elbows in by your side as you slowly lower down onto the mat. And then we're going to take our hands off the mat. So you're coming up onto your fingertips. Your arms are bent at a 90-degree angle, elbows up towards the ceiling. We'll start with our face down onto the mat. Then you're going to inhale, push into your fingers, lift your chest for cobra. Exhale, lower. Two more rounds. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, lower. One more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Then bring your hands back to the sides of your chest. Tuck your toes, and then move through your table or high plank into your downward facing dog. Spreading your fingers wide, pushing into those index fingers and thumbs. Lifting your hips up, pull your belly button toward your spine, bringing your chest a little closer to your thighs. First, dropping your heels down towards the mat, and then maybe pedaling your feet a couple of times. If you're riding a bicycle, dropping one heel and then the opposite. And then steady back into your downward facing dog, taking a round of breath here, really lifting those hips up. Then on your next inhale, bend your knees, walk your feet to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your arms towards the ceiling, mountain pose. Exhale, dive forward into your fold. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step your left foot back. coming into that low lunge. It's time to keep the back knee lifted. And inhale, sweep your arms towards the ceiling, coming into your high lunge. Shoulders relaxed. Bend into that front knee. Pull the right hip back, left hip forward. Really come up onto those back toes, helping that back leg straighten. Then we're going to inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, bend into your lunge. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. One more time. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Take an inhale here in your high lunge. And then exhale, sweep those arms back. Airplane arms folding over that front thigh. And then inhale, come back up into your high lunge. Exhale, plant your hands on the mat. Step the back foot forward to meet the front into your forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your arms towards the ceiling, mountain pose. Maybe take a slight back bend, reaching those arms back. And then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step that right foot back this time. Coming into your low lunge. And then inhale, sweep your arms up for your high lunge. Shoulders relaxed. Bending into that front knee. Coming up on those back toes. Pull the left hip back, right hip forward. Then inhale, straighten that left leg. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. One more. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend into that high lunge. Take an inhale here. Exhale, sweep your arms back, folding over that left leg. And then inhale, sweep your arms back up towards the ceiling. Exhale, plant your hands on the mat. This time, step the front foot back, coming into your high plank. And here, this round, you have an option. Keep your knees lifted or drop them down. Wherever you are, inhale, rock forward. Exhale, slowly lower down. Hug those elbows by your side. Chin, chest, and hips. Inhale, lift your chest for cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, walk your feet forward to your forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your arms towards the ceiling. Maybe take that back bend. And then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step that left foot back, coming into your low lunge. Then inhale, coming up into your high lunge, sweeping those arms up. Exhale, bend into that front knee. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, lunge. One more round. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, lunge. Take an inhale here. Exhale, sweep your arms back. Airplane arms, folding over that front thigh. We'll take an inhale here. And then exhale, warrior three. So step that left foot back until you feel steady, and then begin to lift that left leg parallel to the mat. Toes turn down towards the mat, chest parallel to the mat, kind of lifting that chest up, maybe taking your gaze forward just beyond the top of your mat. You can have a slight bend in that right knee. Take an inhale here. Exhale, standing splits. Bring your fingertips down onto the mat, folding over that right thigh, letting your head hang heavy. Left toe still turned down. Take an inhale here. And then exhale, step that left foot forward next to the right. in your forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your arms towards the ceiling, mountain pose. Exhale, dive forward into your fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step that right foot back, coming into a low lunge. Then inhale, come up, high lunge, reaching your arms towards the ceiling, shoulders relaxed. Then inhale, straighten that front leg. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, lunge. One more round. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, lunge. Take an inhale here. Exhale, sweep those arms back. Airplane arms, folding over your left thigh. We'll take an inhale here. Exhale, warrior three. Step that right foot forward. Bring the right leg parallel to the mat, toes turned down, chest lifted, gaze just beyond the top of your mat. Have a maybe slight bend in that left knee. Take an inhale here. Exhale, standing splits. Fingertips down onto the mat, folding over that left leg. Let your head hang heavy, right toes still turned down, nodding your head yes, shaking it no. Take an inhale here. Exhale, step the right foot back this time, then step the left foot back, coming into your high plank. Take an inhale here, rocking forward. Exhale, hug those elbows in by your side, slowly lowering down onto the mat. Inhale, lift your chest for cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, walk your feet forward into your forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your arms towards the ceiling, mountain pose. Exhale, dive forward into your fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step your left foot back, coming into that low lunge. Inhale, sweep your arms up towards the ceiling. High lunge, bending into that front knee. Take an inhale here, straighten the front leg. Exhale, bend. 2 more rounds. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, lunge. Take an inhale here. Exhale, sweep those arms back, folding over your front thigh. Take an inhale here. Exhale, warrior three. Step that foot forward, or maybe this time you want to lunge forward, coming into the balance right away. Lifting that left leg parallel to the mat, toes pointing down, chest lifted, gaze forward. Take an inhale here. Exhale, standing splits. Maybe bringing a slight bend to that right knee if you haven't already, folding over that right leg, letting your head hang heavy, left toes still turned down, hips are parallel to the mat here, but then we're going to transition into half moon. So bringing your right fingertips onto the mat just above your toes, then bring your left hand onto your hip. So right now our hips are turned down, but we're slowly going to begin to open them up towards the side of our mat, turning the toes towards the side of the mat, keeping your gaze on your drishti, or your one spot that's not moving. And then maybe you can reach that left arm towards the ceiling. Maybe you can even begin to take your gaze up. And maybe you want to challenge your balance and lift that right hand up. Take one more inhale here. Then exhale, bring that left hand back down onto the mat, turning your hips back to being parallel to the mat. And then step that left foot back, but not as far as for a lunge. So kind of bringing it, shortening your stance a little bit, turning those left toes towards the top of your mat, bringing your foot flat onto the mat. Then we're going to inhale, come up here first, reaching our arms towards the ceiling. Then we're going to come into a pyramid. So we'll start by checking your hips, pulling that your right hip back, left hip forward. Then inhale, sweep your arms towards the ceiling. And then exhale, begin to fold forward with that long spine. So you can't go any further. And then bringing your hands down onto the mat. Maybe you need to bring a bend into that right knee so that you can begin to fold your chest over your thigh, and then let your head hang heavy. Keeping that right hip pulled back, left hip pulled forward, hips parallel to the top of your mat. And on your next inhale, come up with a long spine, reaching your arms towards the ceiling, and then step that left foot forward to meet the front in a forward fold. Bringing your hands down into prayer pose, and then by your side, turning your palms forward, opening your chest. And we'll take a round of breath here, maybe closing your eyes. Just regaining that breath, equal inhales and exhales. Inhale, sweep your arms towards the ceiling, mountain pose. Exhale, dive forward into that fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands. Step that right foot back this time, coming into your low lunge. And then inhale, sweep your arms towards the ceiling. High lunge, shoulders relaxed. Left hip back, right hip forward. Inhale, straighten that front leg. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, lunge. One more round. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, lunge. Take an inhale here. Exhale, sweep those arms back, airplane arms. Folding over that left thigh. Take an inhale here. Exhale, warrior three. Lunging forward or stepping that right foot forward. Bringing the right leg parallel to the mat. Toes turned down. Chest lifted parallel to the mat. Gazing just beyond the top of your mat. Bringing maybe that slight bend into your left knee. Take an inhale here. Exhale, standing splits. Folding over that left thigh, fingertips on the mat. Right toe still turned down. Hips parallel to the mat. Letting your head hang heavy. Nodding yes. Shaking no. And then begin to place those left fingertips just above your toes, off to the left. Right hand onto your hip. Right now our hips are turned down, but once again we're going to begin to open them up to come into our half moon, turning the hips towards the side of your mat, toes towards the side of your mat. Keeping your gaze on your drishti, maybe reaching that right arm towards the ceiling, maybe taking your gaze up. Once again, maybe lifting that left hand off the mat, bringing it into a half prayer pose. Take one more inhale here, wherever you are. And then exhale, bring those right fingertips back down onto the mat. Turn your hips back to being parallel to the mat. And then step your right foot down. Again, shortening your stance a little bit from your lunge. Turning those right toes towards the corner of your mat. Foot flat on the mat. And then inhale. First come up, reaching those arms up. Checking your hips. Left hip forward, left hip back, right hip forward. So your hips are parallel to the top of the mat. Then inhale, reach those arms back up towards the ceiling. Shoulders relaxed. Pyramid pose. Begin to fold forward, the long spine. So you can't go any further and folding over that left leg. Maybe bringing a slight or deep bend to your left knee. Bringing your face toward your shin or thigh. Letting your head hang heavy. Still keeping that left hip back, right hip pulled forward. Then inhale, slowly come back up with a long spine, reaching your arms towards the ceiling, stepping that back foot forward to meet the front, and bringing your hands into prayer pose, down by your side, palms facing forward, chest open, pulling your belly button toward your spine so your tailbone tucks down. Then take a round of breath here, focusing on those nice long inhale and equally long exhale. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, fold forward with a long spine. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step back into your high plank. Keeping your knees lifted or drop them down. Inhale, rock forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Hug those elbows in. Lower down. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pedal your feet here a couple of times, taking a round of breath in your down dog, lifting your hips towards the ceiling, and then drop your heels down towards the mat. On your next inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, walk forward to your forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your arms up, mountain pose. Exhale, dive forward into your fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step your right foot back, or excuse me, your left foot back. Coming into a low lunge. Then inhale, sweep your arms up, coming into a high lunge. Bending into that front knee, right hip back, left hip forward. Take an inhale here. Then exhale, maybe bend a little deeper in that knee. Take one more inhale here. And then exhale, sweep your arms back, airplane arms, folding over that front thigh. Take an inhale here. Exhale, warrior three once again. Stepping or lunging forward. Bringing that left leg parallel to the mat, toes pointing down. Take an inhale here. Exhale, standing splits. Head hanging heavy, folding over that thigh. Take one round of breath here. And then coming into that half moon. Bringing your fingertips just above your toes, off to the right. Bring that left hand onto your hip first, opening your hips up, pointing those toes towards the side of your mat. And then keeping your hand on your hip or reaching that arm towards the ceiling. Again, you have the option to maybe take your gaze up. We'll stay here a little longer for this round. Maybe you want to try to just hover those right fingertips over the mat. Maybe bring that right hand to heart center for a half prayer. Maybe taking your gaze a little further up this time, challenging your balance. Maybe bringing a slight bend into that right knee. Take one more inhale here. Then bend into that right knee. Exhale, step back, coming up into a warrior two. So in your warrior two, we'll get situated here first. Front heels in line with the arch of your back foot. Bending into that front knee. Should be able to see your right big toe. If you can't, just pull your knee out toward your pinky toe. Bring your arms parallel to the mat. palms face down, shoulders relaxed, shoulders in line with hips, maybe taking your gaze over your front fingertips. Push weight into the outer edge of that back foot. Inhale, flip your front palm. Exhale, reverse warrior. Left hand comes down onto your back leg or wrapped around your low back. Still bending into that front knee. Maybe taking your gaze up towards your fingertips. Right shoulder relaxed. Then inhale, warrior two. Exhale, extended side angle. Gently resting your right forearm on your thigh. First, reaching your left arm towards the ceiling, and then maybe reaching it over your ear towards the top of your mat, feeling a nice stretch down your left side body. And then if you'd like, you can drop that right hand onto the inside of your right foot. Wherever you are, keeping your chest open. Pushing weight to the outer edge of that back foot. Then inhale, come back up. Warrior two. And then straighten your front leg. First, bring your feet parallel to one another. And then turn your heels in, toes out. So we're not coming into goddess pose. So you're still going to have that wide stance, like you'd be coming into a wide-legged forward fold. And then we are going to come into a wide-legged forward fold first, bringing your arms parallel to the mat, lifting your chest up, and then beginning to fold forward, the long spine. So you can't go any further than rounding your back. And then from here, we're going to come into a squat on each leg. So we're going to bend into that left knee first, keeping that left foot flat, turning those right toes towards the ceiling. And then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, bend into the right knee, left toes up. And then just keep going through those movements at the pace of your own breath. Bending into the left knee, right toes up, and then switching sides. Bending into the right knee, left toes up. And just continue to go back and forth. You can stay on one side for a couple rounds of breath if you really want to get into it. Or you can continue to move with your breath. Then the next time you come up from your right side, we'll meet back in that forward fold, this time bringing your feet parallel to one another. Then inhale your hands onto your hips, slowly coming up with a flat back. Turning those right toes back towards the top of your mat, and then stepping that left foot forward. Coming into your mountain pose at the top of your mat. Inhale, sweep your arms towards the ceiling. Exhale, dive forward into your fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step your right foot back. Coming into that lunge on your left side. Inhale, sweep those arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bend to that knee. Take one more round of breath here. A nice long inhale. Maybe bending a little deeper into that front knee. Then one more inhale here. Exhale, sweep those arms back. Airplane arms, folding over that left thigh. Take an inhale here. Exhale, warrior three. Bringing that right leg parallel to the mat, toes pointing down, chest lifted. Maybe that slight bend in your knee. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, fold. Coming into standing splits, fingers on the mat. Face falling towards your shin or thigh. Right toes turned down. And then begin to bring those right feet or left fingertips just above your toes, but off to the left. Right hand onto your hip. And then begin to open that right hip up towards the side of your mat.
toes pointing towards the side of your mat. Again, we'll take a little longer here in this round. Maybe reach that right arm towards the ceiling and play around with your balance, lifting those left fingertips up, and then maybe taking your gaze up a little further than you have before. Take one more inhale here. Begin to bend into that left knee, and then exhale, step back, warrior two. Again, take a couple of minutes, get situated here. Front heel in line with the arch of your back foot, bending into that front knee, peeking down at the left big toe, pulling the knee out toward your pinky toe, arms parallel to the mat, shoulders and hips in alignment, taking your gaze over your front fingertips. Inhale, flip your front palm. Exhale, reverse warrior. Right hand onto your back leg, wrapped around your low back, bending into that left knee, left shoulder relax, maybe taking your gaze up towards your left hand. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, extended side angle. Gently resting that left forearm on your left thigh, reaching the right arm up, right shoulder relaxed. Or you can begin to reach that right arm over your ear, palm facing down. Push weight into the outer edge of your back foot. And maybe bringing those left fingertips onto the inside of your left foot. Keeping your chest open. Maybe taking your gaze up. And inhale, coming back up, warrior two. Straightening that left leg. Once again, bringing your feet parallel to one another first, and then pulling your heels in, toes out. Arms parallel to the mat. Inhale, lift your chest up. Then exhale, fold forward. Bringing your hands down onto the mat. Then once again, we're gonna bend into one, coming to a lunge on each knee. So you come onto, bend into your left knee, maybe dropping those hips down a little more this round, and maybe bringing your hands to heart center. And then switching sides. Bending into the right knee, left toes up. You have your palms at heart center. Continue to move back and forth, trying to keep your balance here, or you can bring those hands back down onto the mat. Whichever feels comfortable, just moving at the pace of your own breath, going from left to right. Maybe dropping the hips down a little more, pausing on each side. Getting into those hips. Try to imagine being home all the time. They're a little stiff. And the next time you come up from your right side, we'll be back in center in our forward fold. Walking your feet so they're once again parallel to one another, toes pointing forward. Take a round of breath here, let your head hang heavy. Rocking forward onto the balls of your feet. Then inhale your hands to heart center or to your hips, and slowly come up with a flat back. Turning those left toes back towards the top of the mat, and then bringing your hands down, coming into a low lunge first, and then stepping back into a high plank. Move through our last round of Vinyasa. Inhale, rock forward. Exhale, lower down. Hug those elbows in by your side. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a couple of rounds of breath here, lifting your hips up, pulling your belly button toward your spine, chest coming toward your thighs. Take one more inhale here. And exhale, drop your knees down onto the mat. Come onto a seat on your heels, and then swing your legs around in front of you. We'll begin to come down onto the mat from here. So straighten those legs forward, toes towards the ceiling. Sit up with a nice long spine, crown of your head towards the ceiling, and then bring your arms parallel to the mat. And we're gonna slowly lower down from here. So pushing your feet forward, take an inhale, then exhale, begin to round your spine, slowly lowering down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reach your arms overhead, point your toes for a nice big stretch, and then exhale your knees into your chest, rocking from side to side. And from here, we'll come into a supine pigeon. Bring your right foot down onto the mat, left ankle on your right thigh, pushing that left knee away from you. Either stay here or grab behind your right thigh, pulling that right knee towards your chest, flexing your left foot, keeping your shoulders grounded on the mat. Then taking a couple of rounds of breath here. On your next exhale, bring that right knee down onto the mat, switching sides. Left foot on the mat, right ankle on left thigh, flexing that right foot, pushing the right knee away from you. Either staying here or grabbing behind your left thigh, pulling your left knee towards your chest, keeping your shoulders grounded, keeping the shoulders relaxed. Focusing back in on those nice long inhales, and equally long exhales. Taking another round of breath here. And on your next exhale, drop that left foot down onto the mat. Bring the right foot down. And then bring your feet facing towards the bottom of your mat, creating a 90-degree angle with your legs, shins parallel to the mat. And then you can either extend your arms out long like airplane wings, palms face down, or you can come into goalpost arms, whichever feels more comfortable for you. Taking an inhale here. Exhale, drop your knees to the right. Resting them, the right leg on the mat, left leg on top. Maybe taking your right hand onto your left thigh, help it come down. And then maybe taking your gaze over your left shoulder. And on your next inhale, bring your legs back to center. And then exhale, drop them over to the left. Again, maybe using that left hand on the top of your right thigh to help it come down. And then maybe take your gaze over your right shoulder, towards your right fingertips. Trying to keep both shoulders grounded on the mat. And on your next inhale, bring your legs back to center. Hug them into your chest. And then coming into a happy baby for our last pose. Either grabbing behind your thighs, pulling your
knees towards your armpits, or you can grab the outsides of your feet or your big toes. Maybe rocking from side to side a couple of times. One more round of breath here. Then moving into Shavasana. Hug your knees into your chest. One last time. Really pull your forehead towards your knees, bringing yourself into a tiny little ball. Take a nice long inhale here. Then exhale, release. Straightening those legs on the mat. Arms by your side, stretched out away from you. Palms facing up. Lift your chest. Bring your shoulder blades closer together beneath you, and then lower back down. Then focus on your breathing. Doing a body scan. Relaxing any place where you might be holding tension. Start by wiggling your fingers and toes, letting them relax. Feet flop away from each other. Let your hips sink into the mat. Your shoulders sink into the mat. Relax your jaw. Soften the creases of your eyes. Relax your forehead. Take these last few minutes of your practice. Try to keep your awareness on your yoga practice. I'll walk you out when it's time. Again, to bring awareness back to your breath. Wiggling your fingers and toes. Maybe letting your chin drop from left to right. Rolling your ankles and wrists. And inhale, reach your arms overhead. Point your toes for one last stretch. Then exhale your knees to your chest, rolling onto either your left or right side. Coming into Shavasana B, fetal pose. Pose that we use to transition back into our day. And on your next inhale, slowly begin to come up to a comfortable seat, facing forward, long spine, crown of your head towards the ceiling, keeping your eyes closed or softening your gaze to a spot on the floor in front of you. And we'll seal the intention we set at the beginning of practice, taking one round of breath together. Begin by exhaling all of your air, emptying your belly last. Inhale, expand your belly, the breath all the way to your upper back, and then open mouth, release. I invite you to inhale your palms to heart center in your prayer pose, bowing your head, gratitude, thanking your body for everything that it does for you, for having space in your home to practice with me today, and I thank you for joining me. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.
Great. Thank you for joining.